What's up, guys? My name is Jose Shorty Torres. I'm a two-time consecutive world champ, 10FC, two-weight division champion, UFC veteran, and brave flyweight and bantamweight contender. And I wanted to say, check out the new and improved CombatInsider.com website where you can stay updated on all MMA coverage, bare knuckle fighting championships, and it is the home of Knucklepedia, guys. Check out the new website, and I appreciate it for all the love and support.
Welcome back to Combat Insiders. My name's Wayne Carl, coming to you from Australia once again, and I have Troy Fumo, who fights for the XFC flyweight title on the 19th of October in a couple of weeks. Really excited to have you on. You're a former Path to Hex flyweight champion, 3-1 amateur fighting out of John Donahue. Mate, really excited to have you on the show. More excited to actually have you on my promotion. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it's good to be here. Good
Nice.
to be fighting for XFC.
Sweet, mate. We're honoured to have you and Rids as our main event on our first show in Melbourne. Mate, MMA, what got you into it?
Well, when I remember seeing it on TV one time. I was at a family friend's house when I was real young, and he had Foxtel. I didn't have Foxtel, so a lot of these things I didn't even know about. And he was just flicking through the channels, and as he stopped for a moment on this MMA, like it was in a cage. I didn't even know what it wasn't the UFC. It was some random promotion, and I remember seeing it for just a glimpse, and it had me fascinated from the get-go. I was like intrigued. I was like, what was that all about? Like I'd never seen anything like that before. So from the moment I saw it, I was obsessed, and I started trying to research it, asking people, have you guys seen this stuff where they punch and kick each other? Like I've seen boxing, but never seen them like kick each other and take each other down and punch each other from there and stuff. So I started, finding out about all these different disciplines like Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu and all this stuff, and then that's where the journey started, and that's when I started training.
Right. Did you start as karate or bang straight into MMA?
Well, I dabbled in a few things when I was young. Like my parents got me into karate for a little bit, and but I wasn't that interested in that sort of stuff. But when I started a little later when I saw MMA. I did a little bit of Muay Thai because I liked that side of things. But it wasn't until I found John Donahue and started doing grappling, and that's when I really fell in love with it and really got a sense of what the sport was all about.
So speaking of John, what's the number one, I'm sure he's taught you a lot of things, but what's the number one thing that he's taught you?
Yeah, as I said, many things he's taught me along the years being a student under him. But I think the most valuable thing I've learned is him, because something that he always constantly tells his students is to be 100% honest with yourself. And to some people that can just fly over your head and like, whatever, what does that mean? But he'll sit down and really tell you about it. Like it's a quote that it was something that he had seen, and it really stuck with him. And so he always tells us, and it's about, when you look in the mirror, it's just with anything you do in life, if you go through a workout and then, within yourself if you didn't give 100%, and like if you just sit there and actually be honest with yourself, be like, did I give 100%? You get the most out of your workouts when you do that way, because that's a crap feeling, especially when you're competitive like me, and that you could have done more and you didn't. You want to redeem yourself the next time around.
Nice, mate. So tell us about Troy outside of the cage. What keeps you busy?
Well, outside of the cage, I'm pretty boring actually, because I'm just training all the time. When every time I meet someone new and I try to hold a conversation, it doesn't last long, because I'm just like, I train, and what else do you do? Not much else, So
well, I don't train, but how annoying is it trying to have a conversation with someone that doesn't follow mixed martial arts?
No, it's hard. I run out of things to say. I'm like, I'm not up to date with pop culture, or I enjoy things like art and stuff, but I'm not too like, it's nothing that I'm too invested in. It's just things that I'll see, if I happen to go past somewhere. But my whole life is in this. that's everything to me. So yeah, whenever I meet someone who's not actually involved in the sport, it's very, very hard, and I can just feel the conversation that I'm coming across very boring and almost like a meathead, where I'm just like talking about training all the time.
All good, mate. So, who's your main training partners that is preparing you for this camp, for this title shot?
Well, I always train a lot with Mel McDowell. He's a top featherweight out of Pro Fitness MMA, and I've also been working with the guys at Kimikai for this training. Guys like Alex Romano and Abdul, those killers over there. So
Who's
yeah,
the most annoying, Troy? Let's throw someone under the bus.
well, they're all annoying because they kick my ass, so that's pretty annoying. But I'd have to say Mel's probably got the most annoying personality out of the group.
Shout out to Mel and the rest of the guys. Mate, I always like to ask, because I like different opinions, who do you look at as the greatest of all time in mixed martial arts?
Yeah, it's a tough question. I feel like time matters. When it was taking place, and I feel like for me the top two is Fedor and GSP, because Fedor during his time in that era of Pride, the heavyweights. I remember seeing Crow Cop fight and thinking this guy's unbeatable, and then all of a sudden Fedor beats him, and
Yeah.
Nogueira would submit guys, and you'd think how can someone stop him? And then Fedor dives right into his guard and shuts it all down. So to me, that era of heavyweights was unbelievable, what he did and how he just won all those fights, and without a blemish. That's tough in this sport. And then George St. Pierre, same thing, for him to stay on top for so long. And he had some losses, but then he redeemed those losses, and then and for him to come back in the modern generation and do it as well, I thought that's a showing that his style works in different weight classes and different eras.
Mine's always been GSP, but I've got a soft spot for Mighty Mouse because obviously we've met. I'm short, so I like to see. So, like, where would you rate Mighty Mouse?
Well, technically, he's one of the best in the world for sure. Yeah. But I said, like, that pound for pound, I mean, you can go so many places with it, but I just find like it's a competition and era, and like I feel like those eras were like the competition was on another level. But Mighty Mouse, he's ahead of the game, in that weight class. Like, he's just, no one can really can threaten him.
Nice, mate. So you ready for the rapid fire 5?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
So you got to pick one: leg kick from Aldo or flying knee from Masvidal. What are you going to take?
I'll take leg kicks from Aldo any day. I'm staying away from that head trauma, man. No one wants to eat one of that knee.
No, mate. Obviously, there's a massive fight in Melbourne coming up. Who you got, Whitaker or Adesanya?
Man, that's a tough. I met Robert Whitaker at one of the pro shows at Hex, and he was such a gentleman, such a nice guy. But man, like when I watch his fights, I see things that Israel can do to take advantage in the stand up. So he's definitely like such a tremendous threat for Whitaker. But Whitaker's just got such that heart of a lion, and always digs deep and finds a way to win. And I think what people aren't really talking about is his grappling. And but for us in Australia, I've seen him competing in these wrestling competitions, and I think he even did like the ADCC trials, and he's just staying active with his grappling. And I think that shows how much he's working on it. And I think that's we're gonna see a bit more offensive grappling in this fight, and that could get him the win.
I'm supposed to stay unbiased, but I'm going for Whitaker. So KFC or Macca's cheap food? What are you going to?
Neither of them. I'm an Italian boy, so I'm taking pizza any day.
Good answer. So if you can win by KO or sub, what are you taking?
Look, man, I'll take any, but I think there's something special about a knockout. I think knockouts is what turns people's heads, and that's what gets people really talking about you.
Cool, mate. Marry or fight Chris Cyborg?
Well, I definitely don't want to fight her because she'll kick my ass. So I'll probably marry her and just avoid making her upset.
She doesn't see my interviews, Troy. I ask that of everyone, and she's gonna smash me, so I'm gonna stay away. Mate, you were 3-0 early in your career. You're on an absolute tear. You're coming off your first loss. What did you learn from your first loss?
Well, man, I learn a lot from every experience, and you know, this is no different. Um, I mean, the thing I was watching a Dan Gable documentary the other day with my coach JD actually, and one of the quotes in it was that Dan says he tells his wrestlers that whenever they lose to remember that feeling, because he's like, you don't ever want to feel that again, so that makes them more determined, you know. So that's pretty much, the lessons are all the same. I take lessons through training camp, through the night of the fight, and there was definitely some things that I made mistakes leading up to it. But the biggest thing that I've learned from this is just I don't want to feel that feeling again.
And don't listen to Tapology, because I don't know what they're up to, but you've only lost to the number one ranked, and all of a sudden, yeah, it was obviously Frank is now, I think he might be even 5-0. I think he just got another win. So, yeah, definitely rank you and Rids right up there, mate. So, really looking forward to that fight. So, you're on this mixed martial arts journey. What's your favourite part of it?
I'll just say the challenge. You know, I get pretty bored. I get bored pretty easily, so I enjoy the mental challenge. And I grew up watching, you know, Rocky, and I used to always envision like myself being in that situation. I was like, you know, being in a dog fight and being able to, you know, fight in front of a crowd and all that stuff, and just the, you know, pull off an amazing comeback victory and all that stuff. So I feel like I'm living my dream, like my childhood dream.
Nice, mate. Least favourite? That was the easy one. What's your least favourite?
Least favorite would probably be just getting bashed by my training partners all the time.
Good answer, mate. So, last question before I let you go. Thanks for your time. But last question: who allows you to do what you do? So, think family, think coaches. Who do you want to thank?
Oh well, all of them. My you know, my dad especially supports me a lot. He's supported me throughout my whole journey. Like, he's seen some of the adversity I've gone through all my life. So I think now he sees me accomplishing things that he probably didn't think that I was gonna make to be able to accomplish. And um, you know, so he's definitely one of my biggest supporters. And then obviously all my coaches and all my training partners on the way, you know, they've just been 100% got my back. And I really feel that when I come into fights that I've got, you know, it's not just guys who are coaching because that's their job, or because, you know, I'll get behind this guy because he might have a future. It's like these guys have got my back because we got a good relationship.
Sweet, mate. Fans, where can we follow you on social media?
So just on my Instagram, Troy Fumo MMA is where
Yep.
you can find me. Yeah, I gotta start being a bit more active on my Instagram. I'm not that, as I said, I'm not that into pop culture or new technology. So, but I gotta get a bit better, I guess.
Nice, mate. Follow Combat Insiders. Follow Troy Fumo. If you haven't got your tickets, hit up the page or hit up Troy. He's only a couple of weeks or 2 or 3 weeks away from going for the XFC Demolition Flyweight title, mate. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers,
Thanks,
everyone.
mate. See you then.